Hey guys, what's happening? It's Anik here again. As promised, I'm gonna do more of these videos, so I am doing one more of those videos. I'm also live streaming this as well, so I'm also excited to see how that turns out as well. So today we are talking about content and SEOs and the bullshit of the SEOs. So it's very relevant to actually get into this and especially because people will have a lot more time to reassess their business and see how everything sort of turns out. This is a good opportunity to look into that side of things. And as you know, Zero Media is a marketing company and we focus on content and how everything sort of pans out in that sort of scenario. So without further ado, let's get into this video. This video is actually a two-part video. So the first part is actually content, the best content strategy and how you should distribute that content. So one of the things that happen all the time is the fact that people don't get into content because the sheer complication of the content, as well as the fact that not only it's hard work to do content, also the fact that when you're doing so much content, how do you distribute it and what do you do with all that content? So I'm going to sort of break down a simple content strategy that can be used to sort of leverage that any piece of content that you make. So one of the simple things that I would do start with would be get yourself a piece of content. So whether it's a video, and in fact, actually, I'll do a little bit more than just that. So what I'll do is I'll also explain how that content strategy can actually imply in a real world scenario. So we'll sort of play around there as well. So what the first thing I would do is actually start a video, perhaps, right? So let's say if I'm shooting this video, right? So this video is being shot right now in a studio at the Studio E at the Alex Theatre, which is brilliant people. Shout out to them. So if you are looking to make any content, you can come down here. So what I do here is actually shoot a video. While I'm shooting this video, I'm actually going live on Facebook. You could go live on Instagram, Facebook. You can find softwares that do all at once. So I would go live as well. So that gives me extra piece of content. And live is a really good strategy because once you're live, there's a lot more live interaction happening. So people can actually ask you questions or sort of go into that and you can reply to that as well. So there's that. So first thing I'd do, I'd go live, shoot a video. Once I'm shooting a video, get that video in, strip the audio out of it, make it into a podcast. So then you can distribute that onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you want to get onto Apple Podcasts. And what you want to do is you sort of, bulk up your content, sort of stack up your content and release all of that at once on podcast side of things. That's the better strategy that turns out. Then another thing you would do is get the video, get it up on YouTube, get it up on Facebook, get it up on Instagram, get it up on Instagram TV. I believe you can get up to 90 minutes worth of footage on Instagram TV and seems to be a really good content distribution service. So if you can get on there, that's a brilliant strategy to sort of get into that realm. Now, in regards to the rest of the content, what you could do, you could cut the content down. So if it's a video, I'll cut this video down into chunk-sized pieces, get it up onto TikTok because, as I spoke about this before in a previous episode, the fact that if you're not across all these platforms, it's just not the fact that you're not across these platforms. It's the fact that you're falling behind on technology. So you really need to be across all those platforms. Yeah, so basically, you distribute your content all over these places. And on top of that, what you can do is whatever you speak about in the video, sort of transcribe it into a, readable article and get that up on blog on your website or something like Medium, which is an article writing service. So and then you can link the video. What that does is that you're really targeting every single platform. You're targeting audio and video. And in fact, you could probably cut pictures out of this as well and sort of, write something on the pictures and do all those type of things. So that's a one-stop content strategy that is pretty simple. And I would assume that everyone knows this by now. But if you don't, so this is a really good place to, I suppose, learn about this strategy. So that's the content side of things. Now, what I would do if there's a product that I'm trying to sell, let's just talk about a simple product that I've been working on. So I've been working on this selling gym belts, so weightlifting belts. So what I would do is create a content, so whether it's just a photo or a video, and I will distribute it all across all platforms. And on the video on Facebook, I would run an engagement campaign. So when I run an engagement campaign, what would happen is it's actually quite cheap, and I would run a mass engagement campaign. It's actually not that expensive. So when I run that, what would happen is I'll get a whole bunch of people liking it. So my goal there is to get people to comment and like. So once the campaign ends, so let's say if I run a 30-day campaign of a single product, I'm talking about here, a single product, people end up liking and commenting on it. And after that, because those people are hot leads, what I would do is I'd retarget them all with the purchase campaign. So that's how you could use that content, leverage that content to actually sell your product, right? So that's a retail there, but you could do it with something else as well. Whether you're selling courses, whether you're selling, training or whatever you're selling, that sort of works in the similar sort of scenario. Now, so that's the part one of the video. Now getting to the second part, which is a more juicier one. And I'm going to call out all the marketers and call out the bullshit that people talk about SEOs. No matter where I go, no matter what I tell people, I cannot fucking escape SEOs. And mind my language, because normally I wouldn't get so excited about this, but it's just the fact that there's so many people out there spending a lot of money on SEOs optimization. Now, you got to understand the simple metric and a simple engine of how the whole search engines work, right? Think about it this way. Every time a customer goes somewhere and that's not the website they want it to be, Google as a search engine provider loses, right? So they are committed to providing the best searching experience ever, right? So there's no way you could do some gimmicks and put some keywords in and Google will put your website right up because you had the right words. So you perhaps might be able to trick someone, but you can't really trick robots or AI, I suppose, in that manner. So what you got to really look at as to how you can all sort of how all that comes together. Now, SEOs, there is a certain level of SEOs that can be used. So let's talk about meta tags and meta descriptions. Those are important because have you ever seen a website on the page 1 of Google that doesn't have, has awkward SEO, the title, right? So no, because if it has an awkward title, it'll go to the second page or the third page or the fourth page, right? And you'll never see them on the first page. What actually does happen is, so Google relies on your content to rank you based on how relevant your content is to searching people. I mean, there's certain things you got to get right, but it is implied when you're building a website that they are already correct. Now, SEOs, anyone who says to you SEO, once again, it's bullshit because Google is taking more and more initiative in actually taking that whole SEO metrics to actually do it themselves because they don't rely on people to do it because people don't do a right job. Because back in the days, people were doing keyword spamming because keyword spamming teams people thought it would get them traction, right? But that's not how it really works. SEOs, to be honest, SEOs are very difficult in a sense where in order to optimize your website, you're talking about content. It always comes back to content. So your content in a sense where you have to do relevant content, and there's a particular way of how you have to do the content as well. So, I see people writing massive articles and articles are written by a PhD grad. But, the problem with that is that article is not readable enough, right? So that's not a readable article for a normal person. So you need to write articles and blog posts that are readable with chunk size that are, readable by a normal audience. A 17-year-old, a kid from school could read it, right? So that's the whole idea of how you would write that content. Now, in your content, you need to, if your website is about shoes, right? So you need to talk about everything about shoes in readable manner, right? So, you could say, hey, we're selling shoes and we sell these shoes. No, that doesn't work. You need to talk about, hey, we sell shoes and our shoes are better this way. And this is how you can use the shoes. This is how you can leverage to become more better athlete. This is what you could do. So everything in regards to the shoes you talk about is then eventually how the SEO, when Google does the crawls through your website, it'll go, well, okay, this website is relevant because it's providing information that's good for the audience. So that's why they will go, okay, well, this website can go rank up, right? And it's also about how much traffic and how much inbound link and outbound links do you have as well on your website. So if people are referring to your website, that's also good for you. See, now that could be SEOs, but SEOs in a sense when people talk about keywords, and I really think there's a big misunderstanding between the whole SEO thing, because there's a lot of marketers out there making a lot of money out of SEOs. and just trying to sell that, that SEO bullshit to most of the time to people who don't know better, right? So I know companies that I work with have gone on spend $5,000 a month on someone who does SEO optimization. You really wonder what they do, because right, like I just don't understand what they're doing every month, because if you were to do keywords, that's a one-off thing. Like you do keywords and that's it. So there's a lot of bullshit that goes into this. So, but if you come back around, it all comes back to what your content is saying, what your website is saying, how well designed your website is. Obviously things like if your website is not mobile compatible, that's a SEO error in a sense, where Google will go, hey, everyone is on mobiles and your website is not even compatible on a mobile. And so we're going to rank you down. And actually, it's incredible how many people still have websites that are uncompatible on mobiles. So that's still sort of, I get so lost about it, or why people are still doing that. Nonetheless, you can sort of start implementing these strategies. Focus on content. Content is key. It's always content. More reliable, readable, and exciting content that you can produce is the only way to get customers to your website. There's no quick trick of SEOs. You can't pay a company $5,000 a month that they will do some magic keyword tricks that everyone will just come to your website. You got to remember, people need to see what you offer before they buy it. So that's, even if your website was incredible, right? Let's just outplay with you guys here a bit. So let's say the website was incredible and the, website was incredible and the SEOs were immaculate and you were ranking number one. Someone lands on your website and you've got no content, you've got nothing about what you guys do and just a product sitting there. What do you think would actually happen? People are just going to go, hey, well, I'm here now. There's nothing that I want. I'm going to go away. Actually, in fact, when that happens, actually that says, people spend less than, 10 seconds on your website. That is actually ranking your website down because Google sees it as not relevant content. So that's sort of the technicality that goes into the SEOs, right? But mostly I just really wanted to call people out on the SEOs bullshit because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. So, but once again, Zero Media is a marketing company. We're different in a sense where we don't lie to you, and we'll tell you the information that's also available out there as well. You can find this information by yourself and just have to look. So, if you're not going to talk to us, that's fine, because as I'm saying, don't pay a marketing company $5,000 to do SEOs. But what you can do is you can talk to us in regards to, hey, what should we do? And we can help you out. Just a consultation call as well. So if you like, we can always do that as well. But I think I'll wrap up for now. I think this is pretty much what I was going to talk about today. It's this video, I believe, has gone longer than I anticipated, but nonetheless, it's pretty important to talk about this. Also, just quickly wanted to talk about that people who are suffering from coronavirus and COVID-19. I hope you guys are all safe. Make sure you stay inside, wash your hands, and work on your websites and businesses, because this is a good opportunity to reassess what you're doing as a business, as an individual, as a sole trader. And as always, we're there to support you as well. And I'm there to support you as well in any manner I can. I think that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next video.